Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Opayemi, and if you're new here, you're very much welcome. So in today's video, I would actually be sharing my experience writing the Life in the UK test and also passing first time. I'll be sharing the tips that worked for me and my own recommendations as well. So let's get started. So yeah, what is the Life in the UK test all about? The Life in the UK test is actually a mandatory requirement when you're applying for your indefinite leave to remain, popularly known as the ILR, or when you're applying for citizenship. So it's actually a mandatory test. The test is a computer-based test, and you have about 45 minutes. Yeah, you have 45 minutes to answer 24 questions. The pass mark is 75%, and that means you have to correctly answer at least 18 questions out of those 24. Also, it does not have any expiry date, so there's no validity. I mean, it is for life. So once you pass the test, you've passed the test. Like, you don't have to retake the test. It doesn't expire. Also, there is really no restriction as to how many times you can take the test. If you don't pass at the first attempt, you can always reapply for the test, and you can take the test as many times as possible. Really, there are no restrictions at all. As per price, it is £50. So yeah, I actually paid £50 for the test. Okay, so let me go into the materials I used when I was preparing for the Life in the UK test. So when I was doing my research about the Life in the UK test last year, I realized from my research that it is better to actually pay for the official handbook or the official study materials, because there are several materials out there and you really don't know which one is actually very genuine. So having done all my research, I actually decided to go for the official study materials. So I went to the official website, which I will leave on the screen for you guys. I went to the official website, and so there were several options. Like, you could pay for the handbook, like the physical copy. You could pay for ebook. There were also other options. So I went for the Life in the UK e-learning subscription, and as at November 24th, when I actually bought this material, it was about £16.98 if I'm correct, approximately £17 if I'm correct. But I mean, things might have changed, but as at last day, November 24th, when I actually applied, or when I bought these materials, it was actually £16.98, roughly £17. And so it comes in. Also, I must also mention that the one I subscribed for was for 12 months duration. So on that same website, you'll find the 3-month subscription, 6 months, 9 months, and 12-month subscription. I went for 12 months because I wasn't sure when I was going to book my test, and I just wanted to be safe. So the ones for 3, 6, and 9 months might be cheaper than the 12-month subscription. I actually did not bother to even check, but the 12-month subscription actually cost me about £17. So yeah. And in that, so when you pay for that, you would you'd have the login details for your dashboard, and on that dashboard you would have mock test, you would have study materials, you would have mock test, you have practice test. I mean, you have quite a lot of things that you would use when studying, and honestly it was very, very helpful for me. In addition to the official materials that I bought on the official website, there were 2 YouTube channels that were very helpful. I mean, they were extremely helpful. One thing I would say, like, if you don't do anything when you're preparing for your Life in the UK test, make sure you sleep and wake up on these 2 channels. Like, when it was about a month to my test, I was pretty much playing their videos back to back, and I made sure I watched all the videos on these people's channels. I would actually put the names of their channels somewhere here for you guys. So I made sure I watched all their videos, I answered all their practice questions, and trust me guys, it was almost, if not exactly the same, like almost the same questions that I came across during the course of my test, the actual test. Anyway, so before I go into all those details, so when it was, like I said, I bought the study material in November last year. So when it was January, I actually booked my test, and then I chose the dates in March. So I actually took my test 18th of March if I'm correct, yes, and I actually passed on my very first attempt. So yeah, if you're wondering how you can take the test on your very first attempt and pass, I would say, number one, give yourself enough time to practice and prepare. Like I said, I bought the material in November, I booked the test in January, and then I took the test in March. So I had enough time to actually prepare. So I wouldn't say that from the very day that I bought the material, I was very serious. No, I was very, very passive. when I bought the material. At first, I was doing practice tests like every other day. I mean, maybe just one test every other day. I wasn't like so serious about it. But when it was about a month to my test, or let me say 2 months to my test, I became more and more serious. I was actually preparing actively. But exactly 1 month to my test, I was like on top of my game. I was watching these 2 YouTube channels every day. I was taking all their tests. I was taking all their practice tests. It actually got to a point that I knew all the answers, even with my eyes closed. Like, it was that good, because I had consumed all the materials on these people's YouTube channels, and of course I had almost exhausted, I wouldn't say exhausted everything, but almost exhausted all the materials on the e-learning dashboard as well. So at the time I actually took my test, I was actually very prepared. So my advice would be that give yourself ample time to prepare, especially if you're like the very busy person. You don't want to take this test when you need the test. For instance, I would not even be needing the test until late next year, like end of next year, but I decided to take this test, I mean, early, just so I'm not under any pressure. So what I would advise is give yourself ample time. Don't take the test exactly when you need to apply for your ILR or your citizenship. Give yourself enough time. Also, as soon as you're in tier 2 visa or skilled worker visa, I mean, whatever temporary visa you're on, I feel like you're safe to take the test, just so when you're ready to apply for your ILR, you're not under any pressure, if you get what I mean. I would also say that do a lot of practice questions. I did a lot of practice tests. I did a lot of mock tests. For me personally, doing a lot of practice test or mock test actually works best for me. I don't like to have to sit down and then start reading the history of England, the history of this, the history of that, the names of those kings and all of that. Like, it can be very boring. But using those practice tests as a medium for studying was really very good for me. And I was also able to commit a lot of things to my memory. Another thing that helped me was using mnemonics. I don't know, this is something I've always done, but I mean, if you've never used mnemonics when studying, you may want to use that. So because I had so much information to store in my brain, I was pretty much using mnemonics to store a lot of information, and then I was giving names to a lot of things. I was actually generating a lot of acronyms. So I also started merging information, like pairing information. Like, I would pair things that would always show up together, like Adrian Wall and picked, so I would put them together in the same category. So I was actually categorizing information. So if you're very lazy about categorizing information, don't worry. One of these YouTube channels, which I'll put on the screen, the guy already did a lot of categorization of facts, or categorization of the information that you would have to commit to your memory. So he pretty much did all the categorization. It kind of classed all the information. This goes with this goes with that. That guy is actually very good. I did not buy his, because he also has like a prepared study material that you would pay for. I didn't have to buy that. I was pretty much just answering all the questions on his channel, because he had done a lot of grouping. So he grouped those information, did a lot of categorization and all of that, and that would actually help you. So lastly, I would actually say that you should be very calm, don't be anxious. And I will also say that what actually helped me is that I wasn't under any pressure, because I knew that I wasn't needing this test anytime soon anyways, so I wasn't under any pressure at all. Also, the fact that I knew at that time that I could take the test as many times as possible, so I mean, there was just no pressure. I think that's the best way to put it. I knew that even if I failed, I could actually rebook the test and take the test anyways, and all of that. So you don't have to be under any pressure. You can take the test as many times as possible, but of course you don't want to keep wasting money. So I would say use all these tips I've given to you. Don't forget, these 2 YouTube channels are very essential. Make sure you practice all their questions. Yeah, watch all their videos. That's actually what I did. I watched all their videos, did all the practice questions on these 2 YouTube channels, and the official book as well. Even if you cannot finish reading the official book, which I did not do, I made sure that to a certain extent I actually did quite a lot of practice tests and mock tests on the official website. Yeah, I think those are the tips that actually helped me. If I remember any other thing, I'll probably just put in the description or maybe in the comments. If you've got questions, please ask them in the comment section, and I'll be willing to answer any questions you've got. If you're yet to subscribe, please do subscribe. If you want to watch other videos of mine, you find them up here somewhere on the screen really, and Please like this video. If you like to see more of this video, please like and share my videos to your friends and family. Subscribe if you're yet subscribed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.